Hello, all, greetings. This is Gilles Mancia. I wanted to come and say hello, to pull out a few cards, and we are moving very close to this spring equinox, which will be a very powerful shift of energy for and this year the Galactic New Year on July 26th, and the Lion's Gate will be very important and powerful. If we are aligned with those energies, the equinox, the eclipse, we make the time to anchor energy during all those moons or whatever cosmic events. As time goes by, those energy portals become more anchored within us, and the experience in relationship to those energy, those cosmic energy, becomes more felt in a more expansive way. And so those targets are meant to be experienced. For there is for the equinox is a stargate on the 20th. We'll be going through that stargate until 23rd. Same card as in French. It is blow your mind, the release of tension for within the next few days, where we're going to feel this complete release of tension. You will blow your mind. We are blow our mind. What's on the invisible world is the horseplay, so we'll be able to have fun and enjoy it. Basically, what we see on the physical manifested plane is the island of Jewel. It is the manifestation, the crystallization of our dreams and desires. What we are working on is the elixir fruit, is the ability to test all the greatest things within life. We are here in life to experience, to feel, to appreciate, to enjoy. And so this card asks for discrimination, to know what is good and what is not for ourselves, which will bring the tower. Well, the tower shows up to say that you will bring tremendous change in the form, but also within the all that is not aligned with what needs to be let go, to be released. Will the universe, if we do not do it, the universe will find a way to force it out of us in order to find the Lord of obstacle, to find the wisdom, to find we are masters of the limitation, master of the we have the master of the darkness, we are masters of the light. So as we become master of the light, the darkness disappears. We recognize ourselves as light and love, and we seek that point of freedom within all situations from a neutral point of view. And so, from a bit of astrology, the great planet Uranus, which is the future, the awakening, will move from Aries into Taurus. So it's going to be a change of energy. And then Chiron, the great centaur, the initiator, the healer, will move from Pisces into Aries. So it's going to create a tremendous difference in the way that we'll feel that the wounds have been healed, and we'll be able to move forward in accelerated consciousness as much as we are ready. And eventually Chiron will catch up on Uranus, catch up on the future, and so I think it goes around Uranus and goes inside Saturn. Chiron is a planet that's deeply connected to Saturn. For in astrology, Kronos was the father of Chiron. And so those planets all the planets are very instrumental in awakening us at this point. From a scientific point of view, I wanted to speak about how to use black holes. In essence, we do not know, but we can actually open a black hole with an intention to project our consciousness to another plane, even on the Earth, to this dimension, and go through it, and then eventually we'll know how to disassociate from this reality and to materialize on the other side of the hole. So those are personal technology we'll come to learn to use in time, for we already have all those within us with this possibility of teletransportation. We just haven't not come to it yet. And so in many sense, the holy grail of physics and science right now is to find this theory of the whole, one theory that will complete all understanding, but that can never be, for the true nature of life is infinite, and there will always be dynamic expansion within that process. Yet we can move from, in many sense, it is very difficult to move beyond a certain level in scientific understanding without the understanding, the true accepting of the God presence, of the spirit presence. For without that, nothing would be. So if not recognizing that means we're missing the biggest part of the truth. Even if we were looking at manifestation, in essence, what we're looking for is the Gestalt. It's the ability to fuse within the divine consciousness into higher consciousness, and to be one with the one that is all, to return to the sphere of light. And so Well, yeah. Well, so I hope I know there is great things coming. I hope I will be. I know I will be up to the task for we have this divine mission, and we have to put on the creator's shoes very soon, and there's going to be a new level of connection. And in terms of philosophy, I've been studying a philosopher named Empédocle. It was very interesting. He thought maybe not the greatest pre-Socratic philosopher, but he was a great poet. It was his philosophy is very beautiful, and he thought that all things come from the four elements and the mystery of love. So he was quite insightful, and in many sense he thought he was a demon he didn't know, because he thought that since I am disconnected from God, I must be a demon, and everybody else is too, because otherwise we will be one with God. So he had this kind of lucid vision about things. Then Plato comes and explains about the soul, the cavern, how to that the truth is not here. We are living within the darkness, shadow, in an illusion reality. But if we bring the light of the soul into this reality, at the time of Plato, it was very dangerous to bring the light of the soul into the consciousness of the cavern, of those who are within the matrix, as Christ was kind of the cavern of Plato, and now kind of exemplified the reception that the humans did to the Christ. But in many sense, the time have changed. We're moving to the age of Aquarius, so there is really, although wisdom can be shared only to those who are open to it. It's no use to try to force anything into anybody. All truths reveal themselves when it is the time for them to reveal themselves. Well, I don't want to make this too long. We've been reading Plotin, which is, imagine the pluriverse, it's a universe that is separated. He was a great philosopher, 3rd century after Christ. And so for him, matter was like the most, anything that, it was the darkest of the darkest things, and it was an anti-universe but then he also saw that everything came from the one, from the one. From a scientific point of view, we have to accept that everything doesn't come from a big bang. It comes from the light, from the fire, from all those philosophers knew that. We'll come to realization, and we're gonna evolve. It is a slow process to evolve consciousness. Very, very briefly, I wanted to comment on this painting behind me. It is a painting, an expressionist painting from 1990. It's my first period of painting. I did those big expressionist painting, and then I wrote spiritual text on top of them. This one's from Confucius, which is interesting because the text kind of like vanishes into the painting. But sometimes you look at the painting and there will be one word that will flash into your mind that will show you something. Well, in essence, the text goes like this. It says, blessings mean, it's in French, but blessings means to help. The heaven helps the man who is in surrender. Men help those who are sincere and walks, those who are sincere. He who walks in sincerity and is abandoned, is in surrender within his thoughts, and yet continues to respect the man of merit, then this person is blessed by heaven. He finds fortune, and there is nothing that is not advantageous. That's sort of Confucius. Confucius was a great humanist philosopher from the 6th century BC, and so those paintings I made a lot of those paintings. This is a medium size. I have some really big ones, but this one's kind of interesting. It looks like a road map behind it. It's like so that I share that with you today. I wish you a wonderful day. Thank you very much for everything, and I'll talk to you later. Namaste.